My love is in a wheelchair. When I first saw her, she wasn't smiling. She was sitting in the back of the lecture hall, her hands folded neatly on her lap, and her wheelchair tucked close to the desk. Most people glanced at her once and then looked away, but I couldn't. There was something about the way she carried herself, graceful, proud, untouchable. Her name was Leela. I was the type of student who barely made it on time. Hair messy, notebook half filled with doodles instead of notes. She, on the other hand, was always early, prepared, elegant, and distant. It made me curious. One day, the professor assigned us to work in pairs for a semester-long project. The universe must have laughed at me because, of all the people in class, I was paired with Lila. When I approached her, I was nervous. "Hi, I'm Eva. Looks like we're partners." She gave me a small nod. "Lila?" That was it. No smile, no warmth, just one word. At first, working with her was impossible. She was serious, organized, and didn't tolerate my usual procrastination. But little by little, I started noticing things like the way her eyes lit up when she talked about books she loved, or how she always carried peppermint candies and offered me one whenever I yawned in class. Or the fact that, despite her calm exterior, she sometimes clenched her fists when people stared too long at her wheelchair. I wanted to know her beyond the polite, guarded version she showed everyone else. So, one afternoon, instead of diving straight into research, I asked, "Do you ever get tired of people acting like the chair defines you?" Her eyes widened, and for a moment, I thought she'd get angry. But then, she laughed soft, unexpected. "You're the first person to ask me that." That laugh was the beginning. From then on, our study sessions weren't just about the project. We talked, really talked. She told me she loved photography, that she hated how people assumed she was fragile, that she dreamed of traveling, even though airports made everything complicated. I told her about my messy family, my fear of failing, my secret dream of becoming a writer. Weeks passed, and what was supposed to be an academic partnership became something more. The first time I realized I was falling for her, it was raining. We were stuck under the library's awning, waiting for the storm to pass. She tilted her head back, letting the rain mist her face, and whispered, "I love this smell. Wet earth. It feels alive." I couldn't stop staring at her. My heart knew before my mind did. I was in love, but I was terrified. What if she didn't feel the same? What if she thought I was pitying her? One night, while we were finishing our project at her apartment, the silence between us grew heavy. She looked at me with those sharp, beautiful eyes and said, "Eve, people usually keep their distance from me." "You didn't?" "Why?" My chest tightened. I swallowed hard and whispered, "Because you make the world feel less heavy." Her lips parted in surprise, and then, so slowly I almost thought, I imagined it, she reached for my hand. Her fingers were warm. I squeezed gently, afraid of breaking the moment. "Lila, I think I'm falling for you." For a heartbeat. She didn't move. Then she smiled, really smiled, the kind that made her whole face glow. "You're not the only one." My breath caught. And then, for the first time, I kissed her. It wasn't like the movies, no fireworks, no perfect background music. Just the two of us, clumsy, nervous, but real. And it was perfect. Being with Lila wasn't always easy. The world isn't kind. People stared when we held hands in public. Some whispered. A few even made cruel comments, but she never let it break her. She would roll her eyes, squeeze my hand tighter, and say, "Let them stare. They'll never know what we have." And what we had was love. Love that didn't see a wheelchair first, but a woman who was brave, stubborn, brilliant, and beautiful. Love that made me want to be better, to fight harder, to never let fear dictate my choices. Years passed, Lila and I built a life together. We moved into a small house with a garden. She learned to cook amazing pasta, and I started running marathons. Every year, we traveled somewhere new, always chasing the best sunsets and the warmest smiles. Through it all, her strength never faded. When our daughter, Luna, was born, Lila taught her how to build sandcastles that could withstand the strongest wave. And when Luna fell, which she did often, Lila would lift her up, dust her off, and say, "The world can knock you down, but you have to get back up. See? This little knee, here. It's a reminder to always get back up." Watching my wife and daughter, I felt a surge of pride and gratitude. Lila didn't just teach Luna about resilience. She taught me about kindness, about courage, and about what it means to truly love someone. One breezy afternoon, as we watched Luna chase butterflies in the garden, I turned to Lila, my heart brimming with love. "You know," I said, "you're the strongest person I know." She tilted her head back, closing her eyes as she basked in the sun. "Don't be silly, Eva. You're the one who runs marathons." I chuckled, shaking my head. "No, you are. You carry your strength inside, not outside. You're strong, not because you never let the world knock you down, but because you always rise stronger each time." Her eyes met mine, and in that silent moment, I knew she understood. Strength isn't the absence of challenges. It's the presence of a spirit that refuses to be broken. Lila's spirit was made of titanium. It could be crushed by the weight of others' expectations or the harshness of life as turns. As Luna grew older, she inherited her mother's adventurous spirit and my own one. At 12, she surprised us by asking for a wheelchair for Christmas. Confused, we asked why. "Well," she said with a mischievous grin, "I want to go faster than you, Mama." Lila and I looked at each other and burst out laughing. Of course she did. When Lila was 8, she had asked Santa for a wheelchair too. It was the start of her rebellion against a world that tried to limit her. Looking back on our journey, I realized it wasn't just Lila who found love in a wheelchair. We all did. Luna found a loving, strong mother. I found a devoted, inspiring wife. And Lila, well, she found a partner who loved her for who she was, not in spite of it. Our story isn't extraordinary. It's ordinary, real, messy, just like yours and mine. But maybe that's its beauty. It shows us that love doesn't need grand gestures. It needs a shared glance, a quiet laugh, and a hand to hold through life's storms. Love in a wheelchair isn't any different or lesser. It's just different. And different can be beautiful, too. Our little girl is all grown up now. Strong-willed, intelligent, with a quick sense of humor. She got accepted into the university of her dreams. Graduation day arrived, and I saw her in her graduation gown, pushing her wheelchair towards the stage. She paused, looked back at us, her eyes shining with tears. In that moment, I knew she wasn't just graduating from college. She was graduating into life, into independence. She was ready to take on the world, to leave her mark on it. When it was our turn to walk across the stage, I held back tears as I watched my daughter receive her degree. Beside me, Lila squeezed my hand, her eyes fixed on Luna. "She's so brave," Lila whispered, her voice filled with awe. I nodded, unable to speak. Luna's bravery wasn't in the way she walked or ran. It was in the strength of her spirit, the fire in her eyes, the kindness in her heart. As she walked past us, beaming with happiness, I saw not just my daughter, but a reflection of Leela, a testament to the power of love and resilience. In the sea of faces in the audience, I saw two pairs of eyes shining with pride, mine and Lila's. Our love story began with a shared glance in a crowded lecture hall. Now, it was unfolding in the applause of a graduation ceremony. Our love story was unique, but the emotions it held were universal. The joy, the challenges, the pride, the unwavering support. It was a story that whispered to every heart that had ever dared to love beyond boundaries, that had ever faced the world with strength and grace. It was a story that resonated with the rhythm of life, a reminder that love in its purest form knew no limits, defied all odds, and endured all trials. And as I stood there watching Luna, my heart swelled with gratitude for the woman who had shown me the true meaning of love. Thank you for watching. Please share this story with anyone who might need to hear it. And until next time, take care.